One of the things that I often get asked is there any way to keep the motivation going? Very often we start off on a very excited note and then we fall off. And one thing that I've found that always helps me is that it's important to keep in mind why we're doing something. A lot of us are doing this because when we get older, we don't want to be in a situation where our health span is so poor, we can't even look after our own needs. We can't enjoy things like going for a walk, picking up your grandchild. We want to do all of those and we can't. And so, what I want to provide is a very simple framework for you guys to all, the days you're low on motivation, use the following. There are three exercises or tests. They're not even exercises, they're tests. Three tests for you to do. And if you pass these tests with flying colors, you are doing pretty well. You're in good shape. If you can't do those tests well, it's a it's an early warning indicator that you really need to start taking care of these things, because it's only going to get worse over time, not better. So what are these three tests? Test number one is the sitting rising test. And the sitting rising test, as you can see in the photograph, is you start from a standing position and you sit down, and you do all of this without using your hands at any point in time. You sit down into a cross-legged position and then again you stand back up. Seems pretty straightforward, but you will find that not everyone can do this. And so the way you score this is you start by saying, I have 10 points, and you sit down in cross-legged position, stand back up. At any point in time, every time you use your hands for support, you subtract 1 point. Every point drop from 10 down to 1, there is a 20% drop, or rather increase, in all cause mortality, which means your chances of dying from various reasons goes up by about 20% for every point drop. And so the days you're feeling lazy, all you need to do is do this exercise. And if you're at 10 points, good, you're in a good place. But if you find you're using your hands, well, time to get that strength training going, time to get, that much more focused on the food, and so on and so forth. Okay. The second test is the dead hang test. And as you can see, this is a relatively straightforward test. You hang off a pull-up bar. You don't do a pull-up. You just hang off the pull-up bar for as long as you can. And the goal is to be able to do that without constantly, changing your grip or getting down and going back up. It's a consecutive amount of time that you can stay hanging without having to readjust your grip. If you can do that for more than 60 seconds, wow, amazing. If you can do that for less than 30 seconds, that tells you how much room you have for improvement. And this is a sort of a simplified version. There are these dynamos that you can hold and you can try and grip. And in that test, for every 5 kg drop in grip strength, there's a 16% higher risk of death. This has been studied pretty nicely. And the last one is the one leg stand balance test. This is simple again. As you can see in the picture, you just balance yourself on one leg. Seems pretty straightforward. And yet, what you will find is this also has been studied pretty nicely. If you can stay balanced on one leg for 30 seconds and then on the other leg for 30 seconds, you're doing great. If you find yourself falling even within 10 seconds, that's a cause for concern. And whenever we are in doubt about whether we really need to take care of our health this year or we can push it out to next year, try these tests. They'll make sure they will give you that push to say, you know what, I need to either up my game or I'm in a great place.